Okay, welcome back to another Monday. And what I wanted to do today was just to fill you in with developments that have been going on. If you are new here, if this is your first time watching a video from my channel, I'm Lee, and we talk about magic, witchcraft, the occult, esotericism, demonolatry, everything to do with that. All right. So if that's your interest, then stick around, subscribe, and get more. But also, if you want to get even more, then have a look at my Patreon. And that's largely what I'm going to be speaking about today. I have mentioned this previously because I was just doing something basic on Patreon previously, where I was just doing the journal, a magical journal with a $5 tier. Um, and that's still ongoing. I'm still doing that, and it's a bit more sporadic. My focus on the past couple of months has been very much about creation of content for the temple itself. So practice that I've been able to add to the journal itself on a public level anyway has been a bit scarce. Obviously, I've been doing some personal work and some client work, which I don't post there because it's personal, it's private. But I will be picking up a bit more again with that. There are a couple of things that I needed to complete there, especially the living book, which was a small book that I was writing about a particular method that I thought about. Anyway, so apart from that, I then added or brought the Egregore projects onto Patreon also. It's still on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, don't worry, I'm going to leave it there. If you join as a member on YouTube, on this channel itself, you can join as a supporter, which is $2.99 a month, and that I really do appreciate. And thank you for just supporting my work, my channel, all the stuff I talk about. And then the Egregore project is still there, but the Egregore project is also on Patreon now. So that's the next tier. That's the $10 tier. Then there are 3 tiers above that: $15, $40, and $100. Now these are the Temple of the Horned Serpent, and I have gone into detail in the past about what this all was, but I'm going to just repeat it just in case I missed something or you don't know what I'm talking about. So the Temple of the Horned Serpent first degree training is, it's basically, if you stick to it religiously, like every day, and you do your daily practice and you do all the stuff that is in the training itself, it's an 8-month program, 9 months if you include the aspirant free membership level. So you can join as a free member, where you will just get your feet wet. You get to understand some of the philosophies, some of the ideologies behind what the temple is going to be about or is about. This is very much my own pulling together of everything that I've been through over the past 30-ish years. And you know, I've had the ups and downs, I've had the failures over and over and over again. But there are certain things which I found work better than other things, and they might not work out better for everybody else. In which case, if you are battling with something when you're doing the training, just talk to me and we'll have a look at an alternative, because I've tried most of them. So you know, I know I know what's available. Let's put it that way. But these are things I've felt will help the larger majority of people. Methods, techniques, practices, ways of learning, ways of going about things. And I've then brought them all together from all the various different parts that I've syncretized together and created this system, this magical training system. Now, this isn't something which, you know, I kind of say you have to do it this way and that's it for the rest of your life type of thing. I do it obviously, you know, if you want to learn a particular thing, it's better to immerse yourself in that thing, in that particular training and practice and understanding and philosophy. Then when you understand it, you can take it and you can evolve it, change it to suit your own personal worldview. That's really what we're talking about here. You know, there are specific deities that I have incorporated. There are specific positions on the compass, or relations and correspondences on the compass that I've created for the temple itself. So what it does, it's created a framework for people who don't have a framework. all right? But if you do have a framework to begin with, then all you have to do is understand why I've done particular things, placed particular things in particular areas. And then once you understand it, you can just take your framework and start to incorporate into what I've done. So you can replace the deities, you can replace the specific correspondences with on the compass itself if you want to. But for anybody who doesn't have a framework, it gives you a starting point. It gives you a framework to start to build your own foundations on. And then if you find that you have a particular relationship that comes up with a certain deity, which you find can be replaced or can replace a deity within that's been assigned in the temple itself, then you can start doing that, start developing and incorporating your own worldview into the framework. All right, so that's the kind of idea I'm going with in this. Now, yeah, after you've done, so as I said, you can join as a free member. That'll get your feet wet. You can learn about basics of what's going on. And it also gives you a daily practice, which is very, very basic daily practice. A lot of that will then follow over into the first month if you join the temple itself. So then you sign up for one of the tiers. So when you sign up for a tier, you then get access to all of the first degree material. That's an 8-month program. All right. It can be a bit longer. Sometimes you may feel like you just need a bit of an extra, like an extra month to work on one particular area. So, 8 months if you really do stick to it day after day after day. But let's say 10 months if you might just need a bit of extra push here and there. And then you really do have complete foundations, solid foundations that you can then work on. The first degree training itself is largely focused on activating yourself, your energy bodies, getting things flowing properly. Once you've been through the whole system from the root through to the crown, you then, you continue from there, but you've got your foundation, you're activated, switched on, I suppose you could say, and then you can continue to build, to grow, to develop. Okay. So we go through a variety of different things: protection magic. We go through sigil magic. We go through incorporate ancestral veneration. We have a look at the compass itself, how to work with the compass, how to develop the compass, because this really becomes your personal worldview. There's a ritual for laying the compass, for instance. In this system, I've incorporated watchtowers and the kings, the elemental kings, in the watchtowers themselves. And then you go meet the kings. There's particular path workings that I take you through. You get introduced to the deities, obviously, itself. When we get to second degree, that's when we start doing devotional work. So you do specific work with the deities. So this is an introduction to the deities and the compass, but a large focus on the elemental kings to create those 4 roads. Okay. So from here, you then go into incorporating more and more and more into these systems, like with the EO, right, that you learn in the free member. As a free member, then we add things onto that, which then brings it into this aspect of incorporating the body of light and all of these things. So these are the introductions, the basics, developing the foundations, building strong foundations, and then we start to build the house on top of those foundations in later degrees. So yeah, what I've done also is incorporated specific spell working techniques. So sigil magic, and then you'll go into candle magic, and then puppets, and then using the mirror box. And you can work them as individual spell working methods, but once you know all of them, what you can do is you can take all 4 of them and incorporate them all. So you take the mirror box, you create a mirror box, you put a puppet inside the mirror box, which is the person that is the sympathetic magic is representing. And then you can create sigils and draw sigils on the mirrors themselves. You can then take the candle and you can burn candle on it and do candle magic with the entire thing. So you can bring all of these methods together and incorporate them all to create some quite potent magic. And yeah, but apart from that, we're going to just have a look at the list here. We're going to elemental magic. We specifically have a look at the elements. There's a little bit more advanced practices, and as you progress through the months, obviously, you're not going to start with the advanced stuff. And also the lunar practices. So you've got your daily practice and then your lunar practices. So there's a new moon practice and the full moon red meal that I incorporate as well. Yeah, and then apart from that, there's books which I have kind of assigned or suggested. They're kind of necessary reading to understand as you progress through the course. Like for instance, sigil magic. I go into the basics of sigil magic, and I talk about the robofish and shoaling and things like that, which isn't incorporated in the book suggestion. So the book suggestion there is Practical Sigil Magic by Frater UD, which is a brilliant book. I mean, it covers everything. So what I've done, I've found books which kind of explain the topic so well that it's really not worth repeating and regurgitating, because it's already there and you can go buy it. And this starts to create a good magical library for yourself as well. So that's why I've suggested these books, but it's not just about methods. I mean, the Protection Reversal Magic by Jason Miller is the first one. That gives you your basic protection magic, but also then goes on to incorporate other things. So you've got this book that, if you've got a problem, you go straight to the book and you've got a solution in there. And then, things like The Horn God of the Witches by Jason Mankey, I think is brilliant. Discusses the Horn God itself. And then Hecate's Liminal Rites by Sarita Deste talks about Hecate and the goddess aspect. And then The Rebirth of Witchcraft by Dorian Valiente, and we also have one of the Toltec paths. So also introducing you to different types of paths and traditions that I've incorporated and syncretized into my own practice itself. So yeah, I think it's a solid system. So far, the people who are going through it are enjoying it, that I've heard back from anyway. And yeah, they really are progressing quite well. But sorry, again, further than that, because I keep adding to this thing. What I'm doing is I am now going back and expanding on the particular topic. So month 1, for instance, we go through protection magic, and you start your actual daily practice. But the protection magic, so what I've done, I've now created a video lesson. It's almost 2.5 hours long. We spoke about this last Monday. I actually showed you a portion of it, and that speaks about cleansing and protection magic. So it goes into some very specific methods, but then you've also got Jason Miller's book, which discusses more. So you've got a huge basis of ideas and things that you can use depending on what actually crops up in your life and you need some kind of protection magic for. So I'm now expanding on this. The next month is there's ancestral veneration in there. So I'm going to create a long form video lesson again on ancestral veneration. I'm going to go through each month and just expand more and more on those. And I think after that, I'm going to let that sit, because I do need to work more on the 2nd degree and 3rd degree material for people who are going to come to the end of month, the end of the actual trading itself, which is it's starting now. So yeah, we're going to continue with that. All right, anyway, so that's Patreon and the Temple of the Horned Serpent. If you are interested, click the link. It'll be somewhere in the description. You'll find it in my link tree. I'll post it somewhere on the screen. It'll probably be in the little eye icon thingy. But it's everywhere. I keep advertising it every week as well, so you'll find it somewhere. Let's put it that way. So go to my Patreon, sign up as a member, and you can start your practice. The only difference between the three different tiers, with the $15 tier, you get all of the material, you go through all the training, you can text me questions, and what I do once a week, I do a Q&A video that I then post. So I take all the questions and I just answer all the questions once a week in this video. And that's the $15 tier, but you get all of the material, you can work through it, and ask questions if you need to. Then the $40 tier is the same thing, but we also meet face-to-face, just one-on-one face-to-face once a month. And the $100 tier is the same thing again, but we meet once a week, one-on-one face-to-face for an hour session each time. Just to go through any difficulties you're having, any questions you may have, things you want to discuss, things that have cropped up, and all of that. So you get that personal one-on-one training. Even with the $15 tier, you can still ask questions and get a personal answer. It's just a bit of a delay with that. Okay, and that's the Patreon. Further than that, this channel, yes, I did say still got the supporter. If you join as a member, you can join as a supporter, which I do appreciate. I thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. Then there's also the Egregore project, which membership, which is ongoing. I'm not going to shut that one down. The magic schools I did, because now I'm focusing on the Patreon and the Temple of the Horned Serpent. So there's those two memberships there. Everything else is staying as normal. If you're not aware, I am doing the Covenstead every week now, every Sunday, not just once a month. So the Covenstead is just everybody getting together and talking about what they want to talk about. It literally is a Covenstead in a sense. So what is a Covenstead, you may ask? It is the place where a group of witches get together. It is the group of witches as a coven. The stead of the coven, or the Covenstead, is the place where you all meet and sit down and chat about witchy stuff. So that's really what it's about. It's just get together, talk about whatever you want to talk about, ask any questions you may have. We can discuss, everything that just comes up. All right. So that's the Covenstead, and as I said, it's every week. It's on Sunday. It starts at 5 p.m. GMT. So just go and check your local time compared to that. And the other thing, I did add everything onto the Patreon shop, and came up with a bit of a problem. The specific services, which are healing consultation, sigil crafting, the candle magic, candle spell working, and the consultations, you should be able to book them multiple times. If you want multiple candle spell workings, for instance, you should be able to book more than one. But the problem is, on Patreon, it's sort of targeted to creators who are selling digital products. And once you bought a digital product, you usually don't go and buy it again, because it's a digital product. You can move it from device to device. So you're only allowed to buy once, and then you cut off. So if you try and buy candle spell working again, it tells you you've already bought this product. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to take those services and move them back to my website. So if you are interested in the services, then go and have a look at my website. By the time you see this video, it should be done. I'm recording this 2.5 weeks before this actually airs. So they should already be on my website. Everything else is staying there. My books on Patreon, that is. My books, the video courses. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, anyway, anything that's digital is staying on Patreon. All of the services moving back to my website. Okay, that's leewjohnson.com. And yes, that's all of my announcements, all of the developments, all of the changes, all of the things that are going on. I think I have so many things going on, I don't even know what's going on half the time. But yeah, that's all the things I think I needed to actually mention. Okay, so thank you for watching, and as I said, You'll find all the links everywhere in the description. Go to the description. The link tree's in there, so everything's on there. And I'll see you next week. Cheers for now. Bye bye.